Today, the United Nations Food Agency warned that it's unable to get enough humanitarian assistance into Gaza to counter the ongoing hunger crisis there. And this is despite new assurances from Israel that more aid would be allowed in, and as other nations are starting to step up help. CBS News Middle East reporter Courtney Kealy joins us now from our DC bureau this morning to talk more about this. Courtney, good morning to you. You know, what's interesting about the dire situation in Gaza is that President Trump seems increasingly at odds with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in saying that you can't make up evidence of starvation. Could this be a turning point, the dire need for food by people in Gaza?
Good morning, Errol. This really is an inflection point because we heard over the weekend that Prime Minister Netanyahu said there is no starvation in Gaza. But yesterday, while on his trip in Scotland, the president of the U.S., President Trump, said he sees it. He sees it on television, that there is real hunger, that there is real starvation. And then he said that the U.S. will effort to make to put in aid, food groups there, not just necessarily UN, but also sort of some aid sites. He didn't give any details on that. So meanwhile, we're looking at UN groups, Tom Fletcher, a UN chief, saying that the aid that has gone in so far is a drop in the ocean. We're also hearing from two leading Israeli rights groups, B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights. And B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights are Israeli-based. They're the first two loud voices coming out of Israel accusing the Israeli government of genocide. And what the Physicians for Human Rights is saying, actually, in their report, which is we could have saved so many more lives, is that right now the food aid has to be coupled and integrated with medical aid. You have to bring these malnourished people, Palestinians, back from the brink of starvation. You have to treat people that are suffering from starvation, not just with food and nutrition, but with medical supplies, Errol.
And Courtney, this morning on the CBS Morning News, we spoke with a representative from UNRWA, USA, who has family in Gaza, and he mentioned how expensive it is for them to purchase something like a kilo of flour. How dire are things now for Gazans?
Well, we've seen video after video. One that stuck out with me from a few weeks ago is a child just putting sand into his mouth, saying this is all we have left to eat in this sandy enclave. Now, we have seen all sorts of horrible images. UNRWA has been in Gaza and has been distributing aid in Gaza and has also been responsible for education, also other structures. There is a breakdown of the rule of law, and there has been for some time. Hamas, which used to rule with an iron fist, has really been disintegrated and disrupted. We're looking at the third or fourth tier of leadership, very unknown people from Hamas in Gaza. The lead negotiator, Khalil al-Shaya, is not really part of the Gaza folks on the ground. He doesn't really have oversight. And so what's happening is you have Hamas on the ground, some of this looting, some of this selling for high prices, this lack of aid coming through, and really no leadership or organization of Hamas, just lawlessness and starvation.
Courtney Kealy giving us the latest on what is such a dire picture there. Thank you very much.